lot of you were raised in Catholic homes, Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, homeschooled, life teen, and a lot of times you get out of high school, you get to college, and in high school you learn everything pretty much you're not supposed to do. And you graduate and you're like, okay, I got this. Okay, no premarital sex, no contraception, no cohabitation, no porn, no cloning, no IVF. Like, great, no. Okay, and then you get to college, like, great, I know everything I'm not supposed to do. And it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Oh, well, sorry, we don't cover that. Have fun in college. And like, you show up, it's like navigating through relationships, I think, can be pretty confusing. And so instead of tonight harping on like everything not to do, I want to look at what are we supposed to do? What are the thou shalts to have a healthy relationship? So I think in the end, that's what we want more than a list of prohibitions. So I've came up with just basically a list of 5 to have this, lasting love. And the first one, first and foremost, is just enjoy the season of singleness. I think so often, especially when you're at a campus like Franciscan, which has so many amazing men, so many amazing women, you immediately put on that like future spouse radar, and you're like, oh, she's at the port, she'll be canonized, and so, it's inevitable. And I'm not going to bash that because there's something that we're longing for here. But I think what we've got to do is just take a step back. There, in the Song of Songs in the Bible, just beautiful erotic love poetry. And some of the stuff is just beautiful. You've ravished my heart, my sister, my bride. Now some of it you couldn't really say to a girl. Like your hair is like a flock of goats. It's like your teeth are like sheep. Compare her mouth to livestock. But just look at the wisdom. You have ravished my heart, my sister, my bride. You look at the order of the words. First my sister, then my bride. I think in our culture, we're pushed in relationships so fast from the youngest ages. Like, you don't have a boyfriend? You don't have a girlfriend? Like, you've never kissed anyone before? What's wrong with you? Like, it's 3rd grade. What are you waiting for? And it's like this... And I wish I was exaggerating, but it's that bad out there. And so we're so often rushed into this, and we don't even know sometimes how to just start the relationship. I was speaking at the students at Catholic University, and I was talking about 400 college students, and I said, okay, I want you to just tell me, when was the last movie you saw that portrayed masculine friendship? That a man can be a friend to a woman without implying something immediately sexual. When was the last time you saw a movie that portrayed masculine friendship? Not a single college student could think of one. One guy put his hand up. He's like, I know. I said, what's that? He said, Finding Nemo. And I said, okay, you got me. Okay. Like they're fish. It's a cartoon. It doesn't count. But what a commentary on how the society simply fails to show us masculine friendship, how to even begin the relationship. We get in these things so fast. And I think a lot of girls today get burned because they jump into the relationship. They meet the guy, he's cute, they start hanging out and texting and hooking up and making out. Then she starts getting like all emotionally attached to him, and she starts like stalking him on Facebook without him knowing. And she's like, she's picking out her wedding dress on Pinterest, and she's only known the guy for like 2 weeks. Then 3 weeks into this thing, like it hits her, and she's like, oh man, I didn't know he drinks. I didn't know he looks at porn. I didn't know he flirts with other girls. I didn't know he builds a methamphetamine lab in the dorm with his friends on Wednesdays. Like, I didn't know that. And it's like, thus the point to take your time. But we jump in so fast, and then I got girls telling me, like, Jason, I can't break up with my boyfriend. I can't. Because he told me if I ever broke up with him, he would die without me. I'm like, honey, if he would die without you, he doesn't need a girlfriend, he needs a therapist, okay? But we're prone to like get into these things so fast. But the beauty, I think, of kind of holding back a little bit, especially, incoming freshmen, you just got here, it's so exciting. The temptation is to cling on to love so quickly. But I think if you want a kite to go up, you don't run with it, you hold back a little bit. And that tension allows it to rise. And I think the same thing in human relationships. Take a step back. Now look at the benefits you get from doing this. A girl stepping back can say, okay, who is this guy? Who's so cute, who's so charming and fun and intelligent, but who is he? How does he treat his mom? How does he treat girls he's not attracted to? What do his ex-girlfriends think about him? Who are the men he chooses to surround himself with? You step back and get answers to these things. Ask yourself, okay, does he share my morality or does he tolerate my morality? Meanwhile, the guy can step back and think, okay, who is this girl? Why am I so attracted to her? Is it because she's just so cute? Or does she have virtue? Would I want a woman like this raising my children one day? And the period of the season of friendship lets you take a more sober assessment of the qualities of this person, to step back a little bit. Because if we don't, a lot of times we get into like missionary dating, dating someone, hoping we could fix them and change them and convert them. And I think girls, unfortunately, are specifically guilty of this because you can see the potential in a guy. And everybody else like, well, can't you see he's got problems? Like, I know he has problems, but he smells good. I can't break up with him. But we got to understand, like, when going into the relationship, I mean, you only got one of two options. You're either going to break up with this man or you're going to marry him. That's it. There are no other options. Breakup or marriage is how every relationship ends. And that's why we should not date somebody unless we can see ourselves truly marrying this person. And if we don't know if they're worth marrying, then we obviously haven't spent enough time as their friends. And the girls I dated at Franciscan, all of them started with just these simple friendships that gradually evolved into relationships. And by keeping it not initially romantic, I think it helped us to make a better assessment of, is this going to be a good relationship choice? And during that time, you start to love her as a sister. And what John Paul II said is this: when a man and a woman are united in true love, each one takes on the destiny, the future of the other as his or her own. And I think this season of friendship kind of begins to solidify this. He said, the greater the feeling of responsibility you have for your beloved, the more real love there is. And I think this attitude in a relationship is solidified by that season of friendship. And so right now, instead of running around looking for your future spouse, Curtis Martin once said, look, don't run after who you think is your future spouse. Run after God with everything you have. And then after a while of running, look and see who's keeping up with you. And those are the ones that you should begin to discern with.